Welcome to our deep dive into the world of pseudoscience. You know, those ideas that sound smart but crumble faster than a house of cards in a hurricane. From detox teas to astrology, homeopathy and energy healing, pseudoscience is everywhere, disguised as legitimate knowledge while misleading millions. It's like a virus spreading through society, whispering sweet lies in our collective ear. But why do people still believe in scientifically debunked ideas? What makes these claims so alluring, even when evidence stands against them like a brick wall? In this video, we're going to expose the truth about pseudoscience, peel back the layers of deception, and empower you with the knowledge to see through the BS. Buckle up, because things are about to get real. Okay, let's start by drawing a line in the sand. What exactly makes something pseudoscience as opposed to, regular old science? Well, it all boils down to one key ingredient, the scientific method. Think of the scientific method as a rigorous multi-step recipe for understanding the world. You start with a question, form a testable hypothesis, design an experiment with controlled variables, collect data, analyze the results, and here's the kicker. You let that data guide your conclusions, even if it totally contradicts your initial hunch. Pseudoscience, on the other hand, takes shortcuts. It often starts with a conclusion and then cherry-picks evidence to support it, ignoring any data that doesn't fit the narrative. Another hallmark of real science is peer review. Before a scientific study is published in a reputable journal, it's scrutinized by other experts in the field. These reviewers check for flaws in the methodology, analyze the data, and make sure the conclusions are actually supported by the evidence. Pseudoscience, however, often bypasses peer review altogether. Instead of subjecting their ideas to rigorous scrutiny, proponents of pseudoscientific claims often rely on anecdotes, testimonials, or their own research published in obscure or predatory journals that lack credibility. In real science, findings should be replicable. That means if another researcher follows the same experimental procedures, they should be able to obtain similar results. Pseudoscientific claims, however, are often notoriously difficult, if not impossible, to reproduce. So, to recap, real science embraces the scientific method, undergoes rigorous peer review, and produces reproducible results. Pseudoscience, not so much. Now that we've armed ourselves with the tools to distinguish real science from pseudoscience, let's dive into the trenches and debunk some of the most pervasive and harmful myths out there. First up on the chopping block, detox teas. You know the ones. They promise to cleanse your body of toxins, boost your metabolism, and leave you feeling lighter, brighter, and probably with a slightly emptier wallet. The truth? Your body already comes equipped with a highly sophisticated detoxification system, your liver and kidneys. These organs work tirelessly to filter waste products from your blood and eliminate them from your body. And those toxins that detox teas claim to eliminate, well, they're often never clearly defined. Next up, let's talk about astrology. According to astrologers, the position of celestial bodies at the time of your birth can influence your personality, relationships, and even your future. But here's the thing. There's no scientific evidence to support the claim that the positions of stars and planets have any effect on human affairs. Studies have shown that astrological predictions are no more accurate than chance. Now let's move on to homeopathy, a system of alternative medicine that claims to treat illnesses using highly diluted substances that mimic the symptoms of those illnesses. Homeopathic remedies are often diluted to the point where not a single molecule of the original substance remains. And finally, let's address the elephant in the room, or should I say, the energy field in the room. Energy healing. While these practices may have some relaxation benefits, similar to massage or meditation, there's no scientific evidence to support the existence of these energy fields, let alone the ability to manipulate them. Now, you might be thinking, okay, so people fall for these pseudoscientific claims, but what's the harm? If it makes them feel better, who cares? Well, here's the thing. Believing in pseudoscience isn't just harmless. It can have serious consequences. For starters, it can be incredibly expensive. The wellness industry is a multi-billion-dollar machine, fueled by our desire for quick fixes and easy answers. Companies selling pseudoscientific products and services often prey on people's insecurities and fears, convincing them to shell out their hard-earned money on things that don't work. Take detox teas, for example. These products are often marketed as natural and healthy, but they can actually contain substances that are harmful in high doses. Plus, they're just plain unnecessary. Your liver and kidneys do a perfectly good job of detoxifying your body on their own. And then there's the opportunity cost. When people spend time and money on pseudoscientific treatments, they're often delaying or foregoing evidence-based medical care. This can have serious consequences for their health. But it's not just about the money. The real danger of pseudoscience lies in its ability to erode trust in legitimate science and institutions. When people are bombarded with misinformation, it can be difficult to distinguish fact from fiction. This can lead to skepticism towards important scientific advancements like vaccines, climate change research, and even the effectiveness of basic hygiene practices. So how does the wellness industry get away with selling us snake oil disguised as science? Well, they've got a few tricks up their sleeve. One of their most effective tactics is using vague and misleading language. Take a look at the labels of many wellness products and you'll see terms like supports, promotes, and enhances. These words sound impressive, but they're actually meaningless from a scientific standpoint. Okay, so we've established that pseudoscience is often profitable and potentially harmful. But why do people believe it in the first place? To understand this, we need to delve into the fascinating and often frustrating world of human psychology. Our brains are wired to find patterns and make connections, even when none exist. This is known as apophenia, and it's the reason we see faces in clouds, hear hidden messages in music, and believe in conspiracy theories. We also have a natural tendency to seek out information that confirms our existing beliefs, while ignoring or downplaying information that contradicts them. This is called confirmation bias, and it's one of the biggest obstacles to critical thinking. Another cognitive bias that contributes to our susceptibility to pseudoscience is the availability heuristic. This refers to our tendency to overestimate the likelihood of events that are easily recalled. For example, if we see a lot of news stories about shark attacks, we might start to believe that shark attacks are more common than they actually are. This same principle applies to pseudoscience. If we're constantly exposed to claims about detox teas or energy healing, we might start to believe that these things are more credible than they actually are. But it's not just our brains that are to blame. Our social environments also play a significant role in shaping our beliefs. So, how do we fight back against the onslaught of pseudoscience? How do we protect ourselves and others from falling prey to these misleading claims? The first step is to cultivate a healthy sense of skepticism. Don't just accept everything you hear or read, even if it comes from a source you trust. Question everything. Demand evidence. Be your own fact-checker. When evaluating a claim, consider the source. Is it from a reputable source, like a peer-reviewed scientific journal or a credible news organization? Or is it from a blog, a social media post, or a website trying to sell you something? Remember, just because something is popular or widely shared doesn't mean it's true. Look for exaggerated or sensationalized language. Pseudoscience often relies on buzzwords and emotionally charged terms to make claims seem more appealing or alarming. Be wary of anything that promises a quick fix, a miracle cure, or a secret solution. Be on the lookout for logical fallacies. These are flaws in reasoning that can make an argument seem convincing, even if it's based on faulty logic. Some common logical fallacies to watch out for include ad hominem, appeal to authority, false dichotomy, and correlation versus causation. And finally, don't be afraid to change your mind. It's okay to admit that you were wrong about something. The more willing we are to update our beliefs in light of new evidence, the less susceptible we'll be to pseudoscience. Believing in bad science isn't just harmless. It can be dangerous, costly, and even life-threatening. From delaying necessary medical treatment to fueling distrust in public health measures, the consequences of falling for pseudoscience can be dire. Watch now to uncover the biggest pseudoscience scams and how to think critically about what you're told. We'll equip you with the tools to spot misinformation, debunk myths, and make informed decisions about your health and well-being. Don't let pseudoscience pull the wool over your eyes. Arm yourself with knowledge and join the fight for truth. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more insightful content.